Well, good afternoon on the, what date, Andy? The 3rd of June. No, it's not. It's the 4th of June, 26. I just arrived in Aberfeldy, just this very second. And I saw that 10 to 2 and I thought I'll jump out the car because I didn't know what time it was until I looked at my watch. I'm just up for a couple of provisions and then we'll get, we won't hang around in case the showers come and attack us, give us a damn good soaking. So I won't linger here at this moment in time, but as the notice says, try praying. Yes, try praying. Nothing wrong with that. But what we'll do is we'll get ourselves up onto the main street. We'll go to the butchery and perhaps we'll, well, I don't know, I fancy going for a coffee actually. So something different to do. I might do that, I don't know. Let's see what happens first with the provision. Well, hello again on the 4th day of June 26. There's some parts up at Amelie car park. I didn't get a chance to have any chit-chats in Aberfeldy. There's too many parking spaces which were filled, and sitting at the church, car park it's not ideal. It's not much to see really. And they've taken away the wild flower bed. I don't understand why. It was beautiful. And they put it back to lawn. I noticed on the Glencochel stretch that there's a bloody tractor with one of those machines for cutting grass, and down this way of course, snipping away at the edges of the roads. And yet I can't walk in the graveyard or the bloody local park, or indeed any sort of grass area without weeds and bloody grass up to my bloody kneecaps because of the nationalists' decision to rewild every bloody thing, which is just another cop-out for not paying somebody to do a job. I mentioned before the council tax increases, I think it was 6.2%. No, it was more than that, Eddie. It was over 9%. The rent went up 6.2%. The council tax went up 9% or more. And for that increase you get 18 to 25% less services. And it's going to get worse. Well, so I'm not here for politics today, but I just thought that observation of mine was, how stupid is that? Cutting little edges of the grass, it doesn't bother anybody, really. And yet, every bloody play park and, I said already, every area of green grass, particularly in the parkland, like McCrosty Park and stuff, which used to be, neat edges and flower beds and mowed grass, and it's just a bloody mess. And when they took it into the cemeteries, it's pretty dire actually. And people having to attend a burial and maybe just got dress shoes on or something. They've been at the church or whatever they've been for the service, the wake, and bloody standing in the pissing rain in a graveyard with the feet soaking wet because the grass is so long. I think you get what I'm trying to say, don't you? It is pretty shocking, Andy. But I said I wasn't going to talk about politics, but I can see that Swinney's going to be on his last legs. So everything's just about to hit the proverbial fan. But I'm here at Amalree, and I decided to pull in. I thought there's no point in dashing down the road too quick. Although I wasn't sitting around for ages because the temperature's quite high, and I have got some chilled goods with me. I don't want them to be, bacteria to become active on the drive home. Less than 3 weeks to the longest day. And we've had absolutely nothing. I got a response from the Met office. By the time I load this, you've probably understood what I was trying to say. I made a bit of a hiccup in one of my loads. And it's not like me, but I forgot to put in the segment where it said 1st of June 26. It should have followed with that Met office. Warmest spring on record for England and Wales, 3rd warmest for the United Kingdom. I was absolutely outraged. So I sent off a message fairly quickly, telling them that it was a blatant lie. They've come back to me, and what they said was, yes, you're correct, there was a distinctive Arctic airflow for much of May, affecting the locations that you mentioned. But the average, the sort of the spring warm temperatures doesn't take into account regional variations. What kind of nonsense is that? So it's 27 degrees or something at Heathrow Airport, and it's only 5 degrees at Alton O'Hara. Well, they go with the higher temperatures. I've caught this Met office out on several occasions, and this time they actually, this is the first time they've acknowledged me this year. Normally they just ignore me. They can't be bothered with me. But they did respond this time. I've got a feeling probably a lot more people had actually complained to them as well. So if you can't trust your National Weather Service, I mean, what the hell? Look at this. Mind you, it's almost blowing a damn gale in Amalree. A great place to get your washing hung out on the rope is Amalree. Not today, unfortunately. There's too many heavy showers. This is going to continue for another week, apparently. So there's going to be a lot of summer depression. And lots of people who will be cooped up indoors because of the weather. Will be cooped up until the 19th of July as they sit till bloody 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning watching bloody games of football. And can't get up in the morning. Getting up at lunchtime, a beautiful day. Half the day's bloody gone, and repeating the process to watch another bloody game of nonsense. I hope Algeria win the cup. I think I fancy. I mean, there's no chance, but I think I want Algeria to win the World Cup. I think I'd like to be in Algiers when they're actually playing. I think I would like to do that. Well, I won't be doing it, but I'd like to have done it. Sitting a busy bar in Algiers with my flag, Algerian flag, wrapped around me. Yes. There will be a lot of people with lacking vitamin D this coming winter because of that. And then these other people who sit relentlessly sitting in the conservatory or the lounge, watching a bloody tennis ball getting whacked back and forward across the net. That polite clapping. I mean, why don't they have the bloody noise and bloody atmosphere of tennis at Wimbledon like they do in a bloody terracing of a football match? You know? The crowd all swaying about when it used to be standing. Now it's all seated stadiums, of course. But I mean, at the football matches I've used to attend, one minute you're standing stationary watching the bloody match, next minute you're about 50 yards down the bloody terracing with the crowd pushing behind you. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I suppose in a way that people who've signed up for sports packages through the Sky Television or the British Telecom, whoever supplies the bloody stuff, they want to get their money's worth. They bloody sit and watch everything. Bloody table tennis from Shanghai or something. Bloody gymnastics from bloody South Korea. You know, Seoul. Even bloody water polo from bloody, you know, Argentina or something. They sit and gawp at everything. And after the afternoon's worth of bloody sport, bloody flick onto bloody Netflix, another bloody subscription. Sit and stare at bloody movies that make them ill, cause them to have fucking nightmares and stuff. I don't think people understand it. You're sitting watching these sort of horror movies and stuff. I mean, it has an impact on how your mind works. And I just can't be asked for anything. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I mean, I absolutely cannot be asked with anything that's filtered out a bloody screen in my direction. Apart from the occasional something on YouTube I might watch. Between the bloody adverts. There's actually more adverts than there is bloody screening of anything. I hate it. I hate that bloody EasyJet thing. That advert for them. I actually took the piece of music, I've done it in a recent upload. I used the original piece of music which has been re-recorded. But it comes from Italy. Cilento was the name of the... I'll do a separate blog about that, because I was going to actually do something about this EasyJet bloody adverts, which fucking annoy me. And that TUI. In fact, all these Jet 2 holidays, they all annoy me. I was going to write to each single letters to each of the companies, and I said, well, when you're advertising, could you please get your your B-listed actors not to bloody jump onto the bed the way they do? It sends the wrong message to the general public that you book into a hotel or something, and the first thing you do is fucking dive onto the bed. I don't want to turn up at my accommodation to find the bed sort of uneven and shaking about, like a table which has got 4 legs but one always rocks. I've got a chair that's always doesn't feel comfortable because one leg seems to be slightly shorter than the other three. Yeah, I'll put something together. I'm going to write to these companies. I will do that. I wrote to, no, I didn't write to them. I phoned them. I don't eat crisps very often, but I come back from one of my hill walking expeditions recently, and I was absolutely famished. Yeah, that's right. I had nothing at all left to eat, and I think I had a cigarette at the bridge, and then it was about 2.5 hours later. So I zipped into the shop in the Shaky Toon, Comrie, and I bought a packet of Walker's chicken flavoured Sensations crisps. And after about 3 bloody mouthfuls of this stuff, my stomach was making all sorts of fucking noises. I won't be explicit, but it was coming out of both ends, these noises from my mouth and my, you know. So I thought, I don't fucking have that sort of problem with any other food products. Anything at all. Ever. So I looked at the ingredients and I thought, there's nothing I can ascertain from this lot, so I'll phone them in the morning. So that's what I did. I phoned Walker's. And I had the packet sitting next to me. Oh yeah, that's right. I tried it again in the morning to see if it was had been a sort of because of an empty stomach or something. But I tried a few crisps after my breakfast, and the same bloody thing happened. I was burping and making wind. So I called into Walker's, and obviously the customer services unit operate from a home address. You just get a feel for that sort of stuff, and so eventually I had the bloody mouthpiece getting twisted around, and eventually said, "Oh, hello, Walker's Crisps, can I help you?" I said, "Yes." I said, "One of your products I just purchased. It's giving me bad wind." "What?" "Flatulence." And she said, "I don't understand what you mean." So I started making noises like, "Does that make it clearer for you?" And she says, "Oh, have you got the packaging there? Can you give me this number?" So I rattled it off to her. She said, "I'm very sorry that this has happened." I said, "Well, so am I." I says, "I've eaten anything and everything in my life, but I've never had a problem of that proportion from a handful of bloody crisps. Can you explain what's happened?" She says, "I can't, but we'll put it to our control people, and they'll maybe come up with something." She says, "I'm very sorry that this happened. I'll send you some vouchers." So she sent me £8 worth of bloody vouchers for crisps. And I thought, well, what's the point of that? Because the likelihood of buying crisps again because of what's happened is zero. So I think that food, you've got to be very, very careful with food nowadays, especially this over-manufactured stuff. And I've made crisps at home, stuck them in a pan of hot lard, and it's a wonderful thing having homemade crisps. I've never had that problem with my stomach. Don't know why I'm sharing this very personal thing, but it's true. So everything's greening up, isn't it, Andy? Yes, it's June. Everything becomes very tedious in June with the same colours everywhere. I mention this year on year, but it's true. There's not an awful lot of contrast in the month of June with the colours. All the freshness starts to disappear. All the bloody blossoms get washed away with the recent rains. Even the hawthorn blossom this year, beautiful creamy white, lasted about a bloody 3 days this year. All washed and damp and gone a sort of tawny colour. But I must say, I'm going back to this stuff about the football. You know, I mentioned I'd rather be in Algeria, in Algiers, booked into a hotel and making it quite clear that I'm a fan of Algerian football clubs and their representation at the World Cup. But I can't be bothered with any part of the whole thing because listen to these bloody commentators, listen to the pre-match build-up talk and the post-match analysis. It would drive, you know, even the most sane person off their fucking head, man. It really would. Oh, hours of dribble. And then, you know, these top-class bloody players are always getting told how great they are. I mean, you sit a bloody a ball 6 meters away, 6 yards away from the bloody goalkeeper for a penalty, and they fucking put it over the top of the bar or something. Or kick it to the side away. I mean, that's not. By all probability, they should be able to score every bloody time from a penalty, if they're that great. You know, I can't be bothered with all these adverts that interrupt the sport. Anyone watching it on television will constantly bloody interrupted with bloody same old adverts. I mean, it just, the whole thing is just awful. I'm sorry to spoil anyone's enjoyment of it, but I'm not going to be involved. I'm not even going to make any arrangements to try and listen or watch Scotland play. I mean, I remember Scotland playing Brazil in 1982. It was at a wedding in bloody Cathcart in Glasgow. And my father got up to sing a song at the wedding reception, and somebody came in and shouted, "Scotland scored against Brazil," and everybody fucking piled out to the nearest television shop, Rediffusion, I think it was called, to bloody old hog the screen. My poor father had to sing this song to about 6 people who were sitting there. He was a great singer, my father, really was. Wonderful singer. But yeah, so back in, perhaps in the 1980s, I had a bit of interest in the football. And certainly in the 1978 World Cup, I was quite enthusiastic about that. And Andy Cameron's song, "We'd Own the March" for that, and the Tartan Army. It was all very jolly, it was great. I remember going up to see the Scotland squad at the Crieff Hydro, getting some autographs, meeting them. Joe Jordan and Kenny Dalglish and stuff like that. It was quite a good time. Of course, that's when Scotland, the Scottish players did not take the knee or anything like that, or were concerned about hair gel or things like that, or how their teeth were. At least back in the day, the likes of Joe Jordan, that didn't give a fuck what they looked like. They were just rough and ready, and You're sounding a bit negative, Andy. What's the reason for this? I'm not. I'm just making it known that I can't be bothered with the same old rigmarole year on year about golf and cricket and Wimbledon and the start of the football season and this, that, and the other. And if you do not involve yourself in it, then people think you're peculiar. It's like I mention quite often that I don't cut my lawn until June, but the reason for saying, I don't know if any of the neighbours in my village lose any sleep over this, but I'm sure they must think at some point. I never hear him cutting his grass. Does he have any grass? Have a look down and see if there's any grass in that garden, will you? Why is he not cutting it? I've cut mine 19 times since the 1st of March. I think what I'm going to, just finally actually, is actually not realise that the World Cup, the Football World Cup is actually on. I tell you what really upsets me, in all honesty, and why I won't listen to it on the radio. Sorry, not on the radio, on the the BBC on the internet, listen live, because not just male commentators nowadays, they've got these fucking female ones as well, and they know damn all. I think it was Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse done it perfectly, where the after half-time sort of chit-chat with the commentator, and they kept on saying, "Where's the bloke? Where's the bloke?" And it's very true. I don't mind female commentators for horse jumping or gymnastics or even snooker, perhaps. I don't know, but not football. It just doesn't go. I'm sorry to say this, but it doesn't. And if I hear a female commentator buttoning with irrelevant shite, I just switch it off and I don't listen to it anymore until there's a time when there's two male commentators who know what they're talking about in essence. So that's me for today, Andy. I think we'll leave it at that. As I say, it's 4 o'clock and the broadcast is over.